Howdy. How is everyone? I'll try and sit this down. That's not really going to work. What's up? Return of the Periscopes. Yeah, I haven't done a Periscope in a long time. Figured I'd do one in my free time tonight. Thanks, Jeff. We've been doing a lot of Facebook Live. And we'll be doing a lot of Facebook Live with Auburn Undercover too once I start there on August 1st. So just wanted to talk to you guys. You guys want to talk football? Obviously, I'm on the move here soon. So yeah. Thanks, AU Baylor. I appreciate it. Oh, maybe that'll work. Ooh, that works. Wow. There we go. They're going to make you shave that beast of a beard. You know, I don't know. That hasn't come up. I mean, they've seen me in person. They know what it looks like. It was actually, if some of you saw me in person, it was bushier than this just a couple of months ago. Or a few months ago. It was big. Where am I going? I'm going to auburnundercover.com. 24/7 sports. Starting August 1st. I'm with SEC Country right now through the end of next week. So, still writing about Auburn right now, and then I'll write about Auburn in August 1st. Who's the best quarterback of all time at Auburn? Cam Newton. I mean, I wasn't around to watch a lot of quarterbacks, obviously, but I mean, how can you argue against Cam Newton? Once in a generation type player. Leaving SEC Country already. Yeah, difficult decision, but the opportunity with Auburn Undercover and 24/7 Sports is just too good to pass up. So, but SEC Country's in great hands. They're kicking tail, and they're more than just Auburn, obviously. So, thoughts on the 4 players being granted a continuance? Not too surprising. And I wouldn't be surprised, again, if it gets extended just because of the date it's at right now, with it being September 1st and that opener September 3rd. I don't know what's happening with the case, so to speak, but Auburn folks, the coaches and people seem to think everything's going to be okay. But, you know, we'll see. I mean, we won't know until September. I mean, you just don't know. Same offense run by the coaches if it's Sean White or John Franklin III at quarterback. Yeah, I mean, somewhat, but they'll play the quarterback strengths and do different things. You know, I think that I mentioned this on Twitter. Someone asked, and I've said it since the end of spring. And Philip Marshall, now who will be my coworker here in a week, we were actually having lunch the other day, and I mean, he's been hearing the same things I've been hearing. That Sean White is the leader in the quarterback race, at least heading into the preseason camp. No one's really saying it, you know, out loud, but that's what we're hearing. But a lot can change those first 2 weeks of August camp, guys. Trust me. And we could very well see John Franklin III pop up and take over. But I would say if I had to rank it right now, I'd say Sean White, then John Franklin III, then Jeremy Johnson close behind. But, you know, if they were to play a game, like, say, tomorrow, I think it probably would be Sean White. And then if he got injured, they'd put Jeremy Johnson on the field probably before John Franklin III because of experience. Are we looking at a 2-quarterback system? I don't think so. But if Sean White's a starter, they'll find a way to get John Franklin III on the field either way. So is that a 2-quarterback system? Not necessarily. You know, I'm talking more Wildcat and things of that sort. JF3's issue is consistency throwing the football, yes. But he's had all summer. He's obviously tried real hard to get better, train with Michael Vick. He's posted a lot of videos of himself. Obviously, you guys have probably seen him, working out and throwing the football and doing drills. But he's got work to do. Is Cowart finally getting the message? I think Cowart was always getting the message. It's just that it's difficult sometimes for guys when you're so used to dominating and then you go to college and you're not dominating anymore. But everything I keep hearing is that he's going to be pretty good this season. He's in a better place mentally and physically. The knock on him I kept hearing was that he was a little bit slower than they were thinking. But things are looking good right now. Hey, thanks, Webb. Jeff, I think Robert Leff will be fine at right tackle. Other than that, no, nothing else. Any update on Nick Coe? I haven't heard anything. Marlon Davidson, is he what do you think he will be? We'll see. I mean, sometimes yeah, old school Coke, Mexican Coke. It's great. I try to limit myself to one a day or one every couple days. But anyway, I just lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Had me talking about Coca-Cola. This is not sponsored by Coca-Cola. You're exactly right, Webb. Marlon Davidson. Yeah, sometimes these guys have great springs under Gus Malzahn, and then they just kind of disappear, whether it's injuries or just not, doing well. Justin Garrett obviously was one of those guys that first year in 2013. Myron Burton, who ended up transferring after being the best by far receiver in the spring game. But Marlon Davidson, man, he looks like a junior, and he plays like maybe a sophomore. You know what I mean? He's just built. I mean, I was so impressed with him. I mean, everybody was, but watching him on A-Day, I kept looking at the roster because I was like, is that really a freshman? I mean, the kid. I mean, if the kid can keep going up, man, he could be a power. I really like him. Is Lawson still beasting? Yeah, I mean, he'll be a first-round draft pick next spring if he stays healthy throughout the season. I don't think there's any doubt about that. If he stays healthy, the guy's going to be a first-round draft pick. Will Nick Coe make it in or not? I don't necessarily know, Chess, but at this point, I mean, he's not going to play this year. I mean, I think it's very evident just because he hasn't been on campus. Where does Jeff Holland fit in? He can move around a lot. Might see him put his hand in the dirt a couple times. I haven't heard a lot about him, to be honest, since the spring. Well, I mean, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves about Lawson, Adams, and Davidson. I mean, guys have off days, have off plays. I mean, this isn't going to be like, the best defensive line in the country, but it could definitely be one of the top 3 in the SEC, which would make it top 10, maybe top 15 in the entire country. What's up with the new basketball court? Any story behind it? They put a new basketball court in, Jeff? I hadn't heard that. I haven't been to the arena in, honestly, about a month now. When I sat down with Bruce Pearl to work on a magazine feature. Devin Adams, I don't think he's on the team anymore. I have to double check that, but I don't think he's on the team anymore. New paint job on it. Jeff, I mean, arenas usually freshen up the paint and do stuff like that every few years. I remember when I was going to school and covering Arkansas, they Kenny Chesney tore up the ball court too. Yeah, they had Arkansas, like, they had to rip up the whole thing and refinish the wood because it was so dark and looking. It was getting dirty. They're adding blue to the court. Like, is someone jerking my chain? I mean, I haven't heard that. I'll go. Heck, I'll go drive over there right now if I can. and go find out. In your opinion, do we have a shot against Clemson? Yes. I mean, Auburn's got a shot. I think so. Check Clinton Richardson's Twitter. Yeah, Clinton Richardson's the man when it comes to uniform and, I guess, fashion and things of that sort. He's great. I'll check out Clinton Richardson's Twitter here. Matter of fact, I'll do it right now if I get my computer back up. You saw it yourself. Wow. Does Clint have photos up? All blue Auburn unis. For football? Probably not. Basketball, yeah, they've done that before. Dampier will be fine. Yeah, I think he's good. Good to go. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you guys, who really wants to see Auburn change their uniforms up and do things that are crazy? You know what I mean? Sorry, guys. Yeah, just looking at Clint Richardson's. Man, that cord looks nice. I like that. I really, really like that. Let me for here. Maybe you guys can see it. That looks nice. That looks sharp. Don't you guys think? I really like that. I think, I don't know, you Auburn fans who've been around longer than me, I think the Navy is so overrated, or not overrated, underrated when it comes to Auburn, that they should use it more. I've always Navy blue. They should find ways to implement it into something to highlight certain things. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a designer, but I like what they did with that looks nice. Even with the orange semicircle there in the paint. They didn't have the orange there the other day. You're talking about the orange on the lettering and the Auburn logo. I love that navy blue. It looks good, man. It looks really good. Good job by Clint getting that photo. Clint's always on the prowl looking for stuff like that. Blue does too well with fat guys. I'm wearing blue today. Other lay B linebacker with Trey Williams. My dog just knocked something over. Might not be getting in trouble. Next to Trey Williams, I was talking to. I'll have a story on that later at SEC Country, but I talked to Travis Williams a little bit about the linebackers. He does not have starters. He doesn't even have an idea of what the starters will look like. And the story will explain why. Illinois transfer, I've been told, is absorbing everything very well. So I don't think that'll be an issue. TJ Neal, as you were mentioning. Who's the new Sammy Coates? I don't know. Coaches don't know yet. How are the new coaches fitting in? A lot of them know each other. I think this staff will get along better, and especially with Gus Malzahn and handling things. So yeah, and it all starts with Herb Hand and everybody. Receivers, how are they responding? Well, they got a lot to learn. Thoughts on working for a fan site versus traditional media outlet? Good question, Abby. I've always written for fans, even if it's a quote-unquote negative story. I mean, I just, I write the truth. I don't put opinion in things. I never have unless it's an actual column and it's labeled as a column, and I've rarely written columns. Good journalism is good journalism. I'm not, I think that the world's changing with online media, obviously. I have always tried to stay ahead of everything. as far as the transformation of the media. I was there goes my dog. I was an online sports editor back in 2008. I knew what was happening, what was going on, and I've read, and I've mentioned this everywhere I go. I read message boards primarily because I want to know what fans think of things, what they care about, and it gives me story ideas. I mean, if you're talking about going, hey, what's going on with this third team guy? You know, if people are really interested in that, I'll go write about it. Plus, the message boards can be funny. You know, there's some funny people on there. Yeah, my dog's kind of mad right now. Yeah, I don't go to that message board much, and I don't know why I don't actually, to be honest. How do you explain coaches claiming they wanted to run pace with substitutions slowed us down? Well, they did more substitutions because they didn't feel good running pace with the players they had. I agree, VH Dog. Vicky Vale being allowed a back cave, bad idea. Um, I mean, they had to change things. I mean, they became a different team. Gus Malzahn said that they had to become a different team to be able to win games. So it wasn't the Gus Malzahn type team, and Gus knew it. You know, I remember. I'll share a little anecdote here. I remember I kept asking questions because I was trying to build a story and get a different answer, just about the Auburn offense and Gus Malzahn and how, you know, that 2015 season was, you know, not normal for him. In fact, it was the worst offense if you actually stack it up numbers wise, and how college football's evolved and how his offense should be. And, you know, I asked him a couple of questions about it, and obviously he got a little irked about it. And I remember him coming up to me one day going, "Hey, worst offense, huh?" And, you know, just poking fun at me. But, you know, at media days this year, we were upstairs where they bring the media up to talk to Gus, you know, like one-on-one before he goes to the podium. And a colleague asked about, you know, and for reflection, you look back at that offense, and he brought it back up. He goes, yeah, he admitted, he goes, yeah, it was the worst offense. I mean, you know, hindsight, when you're a coach and you're stuck in the moment, you don't want to admit to your faults and stuff like that. And listen, everybody, I mean, we all have off days, and coaches all have off seasons, but, well, you know what I mean. And, you know, Gus Malzahn realizes what was wrong last season, and I think they're going to be better this season, obviously, offensively. I mean, I know that's an obvious thing to say, but I think they're going to be a lot better, no matter who the quarterback is. And the reason why, like a story I wrote, was it this week or last week? The reason why is because pace has really been predicated not on the quarterback in Gus Malzahn's offense, if you look through history. It's been on the running back. The running back's got to pick up big yards on first down and throughout a drive to be able to get pace going, because Gus Malzahn, he'll start running pace once he picks up a first down. He doesn't start running pace immediately. He's kind of a gut feeling guy when it comes to actually running pace. So Auburn was unable to do that last season because they didn't have a stellar running back being able to run the ball. Peyton Barber was certainly a gut check guy and won them a couple of games. But the fact of the matter is he was averaging just a little over 4 yards a carry. That was third worst in the SEC among full-time SEC starters at running back. Now they've got Javon Robinson, who near the end of the season really started taking on more of a role, and he averaged more than 5 yards a carry. And if he ends up being the starter this year, which I believe he will, and he keeps his attitude in check and really stays hungry, they're going to be able to get more 10-yard plays and get first downs. I mean, Auburn was tied for second to last season with, I'm trying to word this correctly, second to last in the SEC last season in plays of 10 yards or more on each drive. Only 5.9% of their drives had at least one play of 10 yards or more. That was tied with Missouri for second to last. The worst team was Vanderbilt. So if you really think about it, it's, I want to say miracle, but it tells you something that Auburn was even able to get to a bowl game playing like that. Especially with the defense being 13th in the SEC and pass rush with sacks. So offense, it's going to be better this year, and it's why I think the record's going to be better this year. They just got to get better week to week, and they've got to be much more consistent at quarterback. They cannot afford turnovers. So there you go. That's my long-winded answer to the pace question. Um, there you go. The O line. I thought the O line did fine. Cam Martin is quick. Is he a new McCaleb? I mean, he'll be that type. I don't know if he's a new Ontario McCaleb. I mean, McCaleb was super fast. I don't know if he's got McCaleb speed. Who's got McCaleb speed? I mean, let's be honest. Mr. Ontario. The DB from Miami, Ohio, Marshall Taylor. Haven't heard much about him. I was actually supposed to meet up with him in Georgia when he got out of school and before he came to Auburn, but we never could work out a date, and he ended up coming to Auburn, I think, a little bit earlier than he was expecting. So I don't have much info on him. I wish I did. I was really hoping to meet with him and his family. Which freshman makes biggest impact this season? I'll go with the obvious answer and say Nate Craig Myers at receiver. I think he could have like a 400, 500-yard season. I don't think you'll see Javon going missing unless he has an injury or something. Over Marlon Davidson, as far as a freshman, yeah, probably. Because, I mean, just think of immediate impact and production. My dog's not very happy. Alex Kozan is back to form. I mean, he admitted, as most of us knew, he just didn't have the stamina last year. Kind of getting back in playing shape. Not playing shape, but, I mean, listen, you have back surgery, and you're trying to go back to being a college football player. It's tough. But his stamina's back. So, yeah, I don't think you'll see him rotating a lot with guys like he did last season to try and keep them fresh. When does the new gig start so I can switch over? Chess, I start August 1st. AuburnUndercover.com. Any gut feeling on Cam Martin? I think he'll play this season. Gus Malzahn said as much. Probably some special teams. My dog's just looking at me like, come on. Special teams, but he'll probably be in a role as a jet sweep guy at times. Deshaun Davis could be good, yeah. Yeah, I like Deshaun Davis. I also like Trey Williams. TJ Neal I need to see. Where does Kerryon play? I think he'll be a guy that's a change of pace back that comes in quite a bit. It'll be Javon and Kerryon show. The logo on the cap, Georgia Aquarium. The wife and I and my sister-in-law visited the Georgia Aquarium last weekend. Never been. It was really cool. The dolphin show was awesome. Where do Petway and Miller fit in with the RBs? Petway could see some carries. Miller, really liked him in the spring game, but I don't know. He might still be too young. But, as much as people have been talking about them being not thin, but depth being an issue there just because Peyton Barber left, I just don't think, it's going to be that big of a deal. They've got guys. I mean, Miller will be fine. I like Miller. I like Petway. I mean, remember when Petway came in? I mean, he was recruited as a running back with Rock Thomas in that class. And Rock Thomas and Cameron Petway were referring to themselves as Thunder and Lightning. I remember talking to them one day after a visit to Auburn. And they were like, we're going to share carries and do all this stuff. And obviously Petway's moved to H-back and fullback. But they're going to use him at running back at some if they have to. And and as you just mentioned, they used him in the spring game running back. So, I mean, they've got options at backfield. Backfield's not concerning to me, which is why, as I said, that's the heart and soul of this offense. And it always will be as long as they keep running what they do with under Gus Malzahn. And that's why the offense will be better this season. So. Darrell Williams and two deep. I don't know. What's the biggest concern? Quarterback, wide receiver, or linebacker? I would say linebacker, but after talking to Travis Williams yesterday, I don't say so. I wouldn't say that right now. I'd say quarterback. I mean, it's the heart and soul of the offense, as far as leadership and everything and moving. You have to have a couple big plays, but it might be receiver just because there's so many variables there, man. It's not just one person. So, I don't know. Yeah, ice trucks around. My dog's not going nuts. Doesn't like it. Steven Roberts did come on strong near the end of the last season. He just needed a chance, and he finally got that chance, and he'll be a factor this year. Can Chandler Cox be a receiving threat? Yeah. I've watched him run routes. I'm very impressed with him. I mean, he's a guy that come out of the backfield and run some great wheel routes for them. I like him. I don't know about tight end, like straight up playing tight end. But there's ways to move him around and isolate him to get him the ball. I like his running ability, route running ability. Yeah, Roberts and Ruffin were a good combination. Will Derek Brown be in the rotation? I'm sure they're going to give him a shot. Yeah. I mean, he's a 5-star guy, and they got high hopes for him. Just depends on how he performs those first 2 weeks of August. And those first 2 weeks of August, that makes or breaks your entire year if you're a newcomer. Is there a guy we're not talking about that can end up making a big impact? Maybe one of those other receivers outside Nate Craig Myers. Maybe a Marshall Taylor at defensive back. I don't know. Marquise McLean, yeah. I mean, he's one of those receivers. Eli Stove. So. All right, guys. 1 or 2 more questions, and I'm going to jet. I'm going to go. Got to go. But still at secountry.com for now, and then go to Auburn Undercover on August 1st. Prediction on where we finish in the West. I think I picked Auburn. Where did I pick Auburn? I'm already forgetting. I think I picked them 5th. But I could easily see them finishing 3rd. I think Alabama and LSU are going to be the best 2 teams in the SEC by far, no matter the division. But there's going to be a logjam beneath them. Ole Miss has the best shot, I think, at possibly breaking through there again. But it just all depends on if Auburn can figure out its receivers and quarterback. LSU has quarterback issues because of their play calling. It's just not a system built for a quarterback to have amazing seasons. That's why I was so surprised Brandon Harris went there. I really was. Because I was on a radio show a couple weeks ago. It seemed like we have any good quarterbacks in the SEC this year, and I go, well, I mean, someone's gonna emerge. It always happens every year, but we should be sitting here saying that Brandon Harris is by far the best quarterback returning in the SEC, but we're not because he hasn't quite had the development he needed at LSU. I was really surprised. I mean, if I'm a quarterback and I was choosing between LSU and Auburn like Brandon Harris was, why don't you go to Auburn? He'd be playing right now. He would have played last season. He'd be starting this year probably. He would be starting. So, all right, ladies and gents, I'm going to go. Enjoy your Friday night. Enjoy your weekend. Practices will be here before you know it, August 3rd. Practices start. I'm at SEC Country for another week, and then I head on over to Auburn Undercover to be editor and senior writer. And my dog is whining right now. He really wants to go outside and play, so I better go. Periscope after you change jobs. We'll see. We'll probably be doing Facebook Live, to be honest, but that's still to be determined. I've got a lot of ideas in my head about being more interactive, and our staff being more interactive with our fans and readers. And how would you guys feel about like a meetup, like Fridays before games, where we meet at a local restaurant somewhere and just hang out and chat, and maybe we stream it and film it, and let people watch as we all interact and just talk football. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Don't need many people. We can have 5 people there. We can have 20. I don't know, but I like that idea. Let's all just get together and talk football. So we'll try and do that. Dog's barking, as you can hear, so I got to go. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. Very excited about the new opportunity at Auburn Undercover, and blessed to have a job and be doing what I'm doing. It's great, and football's right around the corner. Thanks, guys.